If you've ever considered diving in Egypt, then Master Liveaboards is one of the best ways to go. Hey, I'm Sylvia from DIVEIN, and I just got back from my second trip with Master Liveaboards diving in Egypt. In this video, I'll cover why liveaboards are ideal for exploring Egypt and what you can expect when you go diving with Master Liveaboards. So let's dive in. If you haven't noticed, here at DIVEIN, we test a ton of dive gear, and though we love it, we can't keep it all. If you are in need of any new dive gear, whether it's for your next trip to Egypt or your next dive vacation, stay tuned because at some point in this video, I'm going to share with you how you can get your hands on some of that gear. So why should you consider a liveaboard in Egypt at all? The Red Sea is a diver's paradise with over 200 coral species and over 1,000 fish species, 20% of which won't even find anywhere else. It is bursting with life. And there's also the Suez Canal, which with its shallow reefs, many ships have run aground in the northern Red Sea, so it has a lot of wrecks to visit. In a bit, I'll share the dive site everyone talks about, one of the most legendary spots in the Red Sea. Now imagine diving multiple times a day, exploring pristine reefs, wrecks and walls. A liveaboard lets you do all of that. Although many of the dive sites are accessible by dive boat trips, you will need to book a liveaboard for the more remote southerly dive sites such as St. John's or Rocky. Also on a liveaboard, you often park the boat at a dive site overnight, so you can jump in at first light, feeding all the day trippers and possibly squeezing in a night dive after they've all gone. Liveaboard is really the best way to dive for serious divers, for those who want to get the most out of their time and money. So why dive Master Liveaboards? Master Liveaboards is a worldwide operating liveaboard company. In the Red Sea, they are operating two boats, Blue Melody and Blue Horizon. And I have been on both this year. Master Liveaboards Blue Horizon and Blue Melody are classically designed boats with divers in mind. I'm thinking like whitewashed walls, navy furniture, wooden decking, and some nautical accents. And the layout of these boats are quite similar as well. Spacious cabins, tasty meals, and comfortable common areas. Everything you need for in-between dives. They focus on safety with well-trained crew and dive guys who really know the region. On both of the trips, I had Dive Master Paul on board, who is a marine biologist with over 25 years of Red Sea diving experience. So what's it like a day of diving on Master Liveaboards? Well, first off, no lions here. You're waking up at like 6:30 in the morning. The crew will knock on your door to wake you up, and you can even have a coffee or a tea delivered to your door if you really need that early morning wake up. After that, dive briefing is about half an hour later, so you've got time to do last minute gear check, camera checks. A little tip here, if you are diving with nitrox, something that I highly recommend, actually analyze your tank the night before. It's just one less thing to do in the morning. When I was diving with both Blue Melody and Blue Horizon, both times all the guests are split into two groups. Just means it's less crowded on the dive deck, and also if you are going out in the Zodiac as well, if you need to be dropped off at your dive site. That being said, if you're quick and nimble enough like we were, if you are diving off the back of the boat, you can basically jump in as soon as you're ready. Dive time is around 60 minutes, especially when you're diving or being picked up with the Zodiac. If you are diving just the back of the boat and you're the first to jump in, you can normally squeeze in maybe about 60 to 75 minutes of diving. So what do you do when you come back from that first dive? Well, as soon as you're back on the dive boat, whether it's just climbing up the ladder or coming back by the Zodiac, the dive crew will help you out your gear, to help you out your fins, help you back to your tank spot, help you out of your wetsuit as well. I wasn't really actually a fan of that at first, since I'm more used to being the dive professionals, more used to being the helper than the helped. But I have to say, after a day or two, I got used to it, and it's actually really nice, especially when you're doing 4 dives a day and you get quite tired quite quickly. It's really nice to have a little bit more muscle around to help you. Another thing that I really liked is a little small detail, but every time you came back from a dive, they either had a hot chocolate or orange juice, mango juice, something like that. It's a refreshment for you when you came back. Pretty quickly, actually, the dive crew caught on that I wasn't a fan of the hot chocolates, so they always had a mango juice going spare for me. It's those little details that can like make or break a trip for me. It's always nice to know that someone is listening to me and actually paying attention to what I like. Also remember Paul from earlier? Something he did for me that really helped me out on my dive trip was the first time round, I chewed through my mouthpiece like on the second day. And then so I asked him if they had a spare on board that I could get or I could buy. And he actually gave me moldable mouthpiece, which really was so great. and I still have that, 8 months later. It wasn't just a quick fix, it was actually a permanent solution. So I really appreciated that. So once you've got refreshments, you've come back on board, you have about 2.5 hours to breakfast, which is around 8:30. With breakfast, you can actually pre-order eggs the night before at dinner time. So that's boiled, scrambled, some kind of omelette. And then the next dive briefing is around 10:30. So basically from there on out, the schedule is dive, eat, nap, briefing, repeat, with around 3 hours between dives. Breakfast is 8:30, jump in again about 10:30. After second dive, you will have lunch, so that's around 12 o'clock. And then you have nap, and then you have the third dive, and then you have some that will give you normally a warm snack or a piece of cake, along with some fresh fruit smoothies, which are actually really good, like banana or guava smoothies. And then after the fourth dive, there's a night dive as well. Be aware, some of the itineraries will only be 3 dives a day, and some of them will be 4 dives a day. Just you can't go night diving in all of the areas in Egypt, so just be aware of that depending on which itinerary that you do look at. So when you're not diving and you're not eating, what are you doing on the boat? Well, of course, you're sleeping. So on the lower decks, we have all the twin rooms, and then on the mid deck, we have the dining room and the dive deck. Also on Blue Melody, you have some double bedrooms as well. Then on the upper deck, you have the dive briefing room and a roof to sun deck. It's really great for like chilling out if it's too hot to actually sit in the sun. And then you have the upper deck, which has sun lounges there, and there's also some sun lounges at the front of the boat. And on the Blue Horizon, there's a jacuzzi there as well. Here's a quick tour of the rooms that we had, both from Blue Melody and the Blue Horizon. As promised, here is a dive site that everyone is talking about. The Thistlegorm wreck. It is a British shipwreck filled with artifacts and military cargo from the Second World War. If you're like me, a wreck lover and an underwater photographer, then no doubt you've seen these northern motorcycles all over diving websites and plastered on diving magazines. Seeing all that cargo filled up on top of each other was truly incredible. If I'd done just, let's say, a day trip, it would have taken a few hours to get there and back, and probably would have been only 1, maybe 2 dives. However, because I went with Master Liveaboards, we ended up staying for 3 dives, including a night dive, which wasn't even on my radar until that day. And it also meant, of course, that there was no one else on the dive site except our boat. Luckily as well, we were in the off season, just at the end of January, start of February, so there weren't many divers as well. Now, I'm just gonna give you a quick overview of some of the routes that are possible with Master Liveaboards in the Red Sea and around Egypt. It has 12 itineraries altogether in Egypt that are generally split into 3 main areas, though they do overlap a little bit. So there's the North Red Sea, the South Red Sea, and the Deep South. The North Red Sea is where the divers can expect reefs and wrecks. In the south is BDE, which stands for Brothers Islands, Daedalus Reef, and Elephant Stone. This is a lot of wall diving and some blue water diving as well as you go looking for sharks. And then the Deep South is Fury Shoal, St. John's, and Rocky Island, featuring more distinct reef formations, drop-off, caves, tunnels, and much more. There is some overlap with some of these routes. So for example, the north part of the South Sea will hit into the North Red Sea, and the south part of the South Red Sea will hit into the Deep South Red Sea, etc. But generally it's split into these 3 regions. But of course, like I said, there are 12 itineraries, so you can find exactly the kind of trip that you want to go for. And all of these itineraries are between 7 to 10 days, depending on what you're after. All of these routes depart from either Hurghada Harbour, flying into Hurghada Airport, or Port Galip Port, which is from Marshal Alam Airport. You can take a car transfer between them both if you can only fly into one of those 2 airports, and there's a couple of hours drive between them. Throughout the Red Sea, divers can expect to see a wide variety of reef fish, such as butterfly fish, anvil fish, and even the really large Napoleon wrasse. Largest fish include jacks, snappers, milkfish, mackerel. In the southerly Red Sea, there's a higher chance to see sharks, including thresher sharks, oceanic whitetips, scalloped hammerheads, silky sharks, and their cousins, the manta rays and eagle rays. A little tip for the underwater photographers: remember to bring the wide angle setup. There is some macro life, but with all the wrecks and all the marine life, you're probably better off just bringing the wide angle setup. There is also some dolphins and dugongs in some of the areas as well. Now we're at that point in the video where I'm going to tell you how you can enter our giveaway. In our giveaway, you get the chance to win some awesome gear, and all you have to do is these 3 easy things. First off, like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Second of all, Drop us a comment down below. Let us know where you want to go diving in the Red Sea and why. And lastly, make sure to subscribe to our newsletter. The link's just down in the description as well. It's actually through the newsletter that you will find out if you are the winner, to keep an eye out on your inbox. We hope that you enjoyed this video. Down in the description, there's also a link to Master Liveaboards, to all the other itineraries, whether that be in Egypt or other worldwide destinations that they do as well. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy diving.